What to post and why. One of the most common things that I hear business owners say is, I don't know what to post. And I always bring it back to this. Think about who your ideal customer is, and then list out all of their pain points, all of their desires, all of their struggles, their problems, all of those things, and pick one of those topics and make content about that. The more content you can have that is made specifically to address your customer and the problems they have, the desires they have, all of those things, the better. Because that's really what's going to help attract the right people and then help nurture them and build trust with them and show them that you truly understand what it is that they're going through. So that is the basis of everything that you should be posting. And let's dive into understanding what content actually attracts followers and then keeps them engaged. And when I say followers here, we're really talking about attracting your ideal customers. So the 3 types of content that every local service business needs is, first, authority building content. So this is what's going to position you as that go-to expert in your industry. So as an example, I have up here, this video right here is somewhat of an authority building piece of content. So it is showing me on camera, I am walking, talking, engaging, being catchy and catching people's attention when they're scrolling, but also I'm educating about different topics, right? Like in this ad, this is a video ad, I'm telling people, hey, look, are you struggling with this problem? Well, this is a way to overcome it. Do this, this, and this to overcome that problem. So again, the basis of this is still on the ideal customer. I'm speaking to their problems and their pain points, and then I'm positioning myself as the expert or the one who can solve their problem and provide them with the solution. So that's an example of what that would look like. Moving on to the trust building content, and some of these will kind of overlap as what you'll start to notice as well. So an authority piece of content can also be a trust building piece of content and vice versa. But the goal of these trust building pieces of content is to build relationships and credibility with your audience. So an example of that would be right here, just a talking head piece of content where I picked a topic about my customers and I'm speaking directly to it. So this is an example of talking on camera is the fastest way to grow your local business, which is true. And here's why, because when you go to Google and look up your competitors and check out their page, you'll see the same thing, right? No one's getting on camera, no one's talking directly to their customer and addressing their problems. So by you doing this as a local business owner, you're going to address your customers and speak directly to their problems. And when they see you, the owner of the business, they see your face, you're getting on camera and you're directly talking to their problems, they're immediately going to start building trust and seeing you as that authority and that expert. Because not only are you talking about their problems and their pain points, but you're also providing them with the solution and providing them with a way to overcome that. So that's what's going to help build trust with the trust building content. The 3rd type is lead generating content. And again, this is what's going to convert those followers or convert those people that are seeing your videos into your actual customers. So 2 examples again would be this original ad that I showed you, right? This is to generate leads, because at the end of this video, there's a call to action to either follow me, as you can see right here, and it's also being run as a lead form ad. So they will have the option on screen to click learn more and fill out that form to learn more information. So that's an example of a piece of content that's going to generate leads, because people will take the action of following, or they will take the action of clicking that lead form and then filling out their information. Another example would be right here. This is just some B-roll footage, and there is sound to this. I'm not going to play it, but the text will show in congruence with that audio that's underneath. Like as the beat of each song hits, the text appears on the screen, and it's a short video that will continue to loop. But you can see at the very end here, it says see caption. So again, it's directing them to see the caption. And then at the end of the caption, if they want to learn more about everything that was talked about up here in the text, then they just comment the keyword. And then when they comment the keyword, we have an automation set up to send them that resource that shows them exactly how to do what it is they were asking for. And that is generating leads. So when people see this post and then they comment this keyword, those are leads, because they've seen the post, they read what it was about, and they've taken the action to get the document or the resource that's on the other side of it. So that's an example of a piece of lead generating content. And some common mistakes to watch out for. A lot of people are making these, so really, really pay attention to this. So posting random and inconsistent content with no strategy. So it's easy to get sucked into this, and I totally understand, because if you look at all the other local businesses on social media and on Instagram, you see that a lot of them are doing the same things. They're posting the trending videos, they're posting funny, random content, but none of it is specific and none of it is talking to the pain points that their customers have. And that's really what's going to differentiate you on social media. And honestly, it's going to be easy because no one is really doing that. Everyone is just posting trending videos and kind of copying what everyone else is doing. So by you getting on here and actually speaking directly to your customers' problems, it's going to position you as an expert and as an authority immediately. So that's the first mistake. The second one kind of ties into it. It's talking only about your services instead of making your content about your customers. So like we've said before, people don't want to be sold to, like hard selling all the time in every single post. And if you think about it, let's say you're a landscaper and all you post on your feed is just pictures of your finished jobs. Technically, you're just trying to sell your service through all your content. Like all you're ever posting is the jobs you've done. And another perfect example is real estate agents. If all they're ever posting is the listings that they have, a real estate agent needs to sell themselves to their prospects so that their clients trust them and want to use them. But if they're only ever posting just static images of the properties that they're listing or the properties that they've sold, they're pushing the product or the service versus selling themselves with their content. So that's a huge mistake that people are making, is only talking about the services that they provide. Because think about it, from a viewer or a customer's perspective, if I'm only ever hearing from you about your services, about how great they are, about what it is that you do, it's like you're trying to shove it down their throat and trying to sell to them all the time, instead of flipping the script and making the content valuable to them and to their pain points. So for a real estate agent, instead of just posting the listings or posting the properties that you've just sold, you want to try to post content that's going to address your potential customers' pain points and any objections that they would have. That way, when they start seeing that content, again, all of these things are going to happen. They're going to see you as an authority because you're educating them about things within the industry that they didn't even know about. They're going to start trusting you more because they're learning from you, right? You're providing them free value and you're teaching them something for free that they didn't know, so they're going to start trusting you more. And then when you start sprinkling in that lead generating content, what you're going to find is, because you built that authority and you built that trust already beforehand, when you post that lead generating content, they're going to be willing and want to learn more and find out more about what it is that you do. So it all kind of works together. The last part of these and the mistakes is just ignoring engagement and missing opportunities to build a local community presence. So just pay attention, right? If someone likes a post or if they comment on your post, then, or even if they share your post on their story, that's an opportunity to engage with them, to reach out with them. Like, hey, thank you for checking out the post. Thank you for the support. Just shoot them a message, build that community locally, and actually just be a person behind the business versus only being transactional, only messaging people and asking, hey, do you want to book a call? Do you want to book a quote? Whatever it is, just treat it more as a relationship versus transactional. And that way, over time, it takes time for some people to trust you and be able to know you enough to want to have a conversation or want to talk about what it looks like to work together. So just try to think about that and think about nurturing your customers over time. When it comes to standing out and getting more engagement, again, the goal isn't always getting the views or the likes or all those things. But what's really funny is that when you start focusing on creating content that really provides value to your customers and helps them, the byproduct of that is more likes and more views and more engagement, because the content that you're making is resonating so much with your customer and they're getting so much value out of it. They're going to like it. They're going to engage with it. They're going to watch it more. So it's funny. It's almost backwards, right? You have to focus on creating content that provides value to them. And then as a byproduct, you will see more engagement from that. So starting here is just identifying your ideal customer's biggest pain points and speak directly to them. So I know you've heard this so much already, but it's so important. When you can identify the exact problems that your customers are facing and you create content that helps them overcome it or helps them see how you can help them solve that and alleviate that, it's going to make you stand out from all your competitors who are just posting pictures of their finished jobs. Second is using local-based content. So having location tags, like showing the area where you're posting things. This is going to help build your audience locally, because again, you're showing that you're in the area. Even the messaging in your videos, you can speak specifically to, hey, Wilmington homeowners, hey, Wilmington whatever, just call out the area and be specific to the location that you're servicing. It's going to help you stand out more from everybody else who's just speaking to the masses. The last one, you've heard this time and time again, stay consistent. Frequency matters more than perfection. So don't get crazy obsessed with each individual piece of content, because remember, the goal is to put a lot out consistently and stay top of mind with your customers. So if you were to sit there on one piece of content and try to make it perfect as possible versus just getting it to, let's say, 80 or 90% good and then putting it out there, you can then move on and move on to the next one and move on to the next one. Versus when you get so stuck on trying to make one piece of content perfect, you don't actually put it out because you're sitting there trying to make it perfect. And again, remember, the goal is just to provide value to your customers. So you can put something out that's about 80 to 90% perfect in your eyes and move on to the next piece, right? And just keep getting better and doing that over time. It'll help you stay consistent and stop you from overthinking and trying to make something perfect, which would lead to you not posting at all. So a couple more things on just how to post with intention. So we want to balance out the type of content that we have. So like we talked about above, value-driven content is going to educate and it's going to solve your customers' problems. So this is content that addresses frequently asked questions that customers always ask. You can overcome some common myths about your industry and then share some simple tips that are related to your service. But this is the key for this, is to leave the hard work for them to hire you. So a big thing that is talked about is to give away the value and the strategy for free and then to sell the implementation. So as a service provider, if you're a service-based business, you provide a service that's going to save people time, it's going to save them money, and it's going to save them effort and sacrifice in some sort of way. But if you can educate them on the process of doing it, of what it looks like to complete that, they're going to realize, wow, like, okay, this takes a lot of work and a lot of equipment and a lot of effort on my end to actually do this. So now that I'm educated about that and I know that, let me go ahead and hire you because you're the expert and you can do it for me. So that's kind of how you can position that sort of content. Moving on to the entertaining content. So again, this is like the traditional social media content that people think about, right? It keeps people engaged. It's behind the scenes stuff with people working, some customer interactions and reactions, which is great. And then also before and after transformations of your services. So getting your customers to provide some sort of testimonials, anything along those lines. It's just anything that is not the value-driven content that is educating and solving problems directly. When I say entertaining, it doesn't necessarily have to be pure entertainment, right? It can just be different than the education and value sort of content from above that we talked about. It can be the behind the scenes, it can be the customer interactions and all of those other things. It just falls under the category of entertaining because it's not necessarily the value driven. The last is the promotional content. So again, this is what's really going to convert those viewers into actual customers. And with this, you can showcase your services in action with some testimonials. You can create the fear of missing out with some limited time offers and promotions. And then also you can feature the real results from past clients that are going to help build credibility with your business. And this is important right here, the 80-20 rule for success. 80% of your content should just be the educational, the entertaining, or the inspirational, right? You don't want to be selling your services majority of the time. You want to just give the value away, educate people, teach them something, talk about their pain points, their struggles 80% of the time. And then that other 20% is when you promote your services, because this is what's going to build trust and it's going to make your promotions feel more natural and not salesy. Because again, you're constantly giving. All of your audience, all of your viewers are feeling like, wow, they just give all this value away, all this information for free. And then when you sprinkle in the promotion, it's like, wow, okay, I've been wondering, like, I feel like they're giving me so much with their content. Like, how can I learn more? Like, how can I work with you? How can I, move forward with this? So that's the perfect balance of just giving the value away for free up front. That way when you do ask and make that promotion, it doesn't feel like you're, again, shoving it down their throat all the time. So here's a good little formula to follow right at the very bottom here. This is the last section just for local businesses on what to post and when. So like we talked about in the last video with stories, daily stories, behind the scenes, customer interactions, polls, things that are engaging, some Q&As, that's another way to get people to engage daily. So every day you want to just be posting stuff on your stories for people to see. 3 to 4 times per week, those educational reels or some carousel posts just to balance it out. And again, these are going to be on frequently asked questions, some tips, the pain points, the struggles, all of those things. 3 to 4 times per week minimum. If you can do more, of course, it's going to be better to stay top of mind, but at a minimum, try to be posting that consistently. 1 to 2 times per week, the promotional post. So again, this is balancing out with the 80-20 like we talked about, and then once per week, some sort of engagement type of post. So this could be like something that's shareable, something that's relatable, a trending topic, right? An interactive post that just encourages people to engage, to share, and that's going to help you get discovered by new people, but you don't want to overdo that. So again, it's kind of along the lines of the 80-20, where 80% should be giving away value, helping people overcome their problems, and then throwing this in once a week is going to be the perfect balance, because it's by the time you post it, you've already posted so much other content that's just helping your customers. Lastly, 1 time per month is a long form authority building post. So this is something not everyone may get to. It's something further down the line. Assuming you have good ads running, you have good content on your feed already, posting a long form piece of content, which is really just like a YouTube video or any sort of video that's longer than a traditional reel, like a 1 to 2 minute long reel. Anything longer than that is really going to help build more authority and also build trust with your customers. So think about it. If you have a YouTube video that's 10 minutes long and it's talking about one of your customers' biggest struggles and how you help them overcome it, that's a long time for someone to sit there and consume your content and listen to you and be building trust with you. So if you have that type of content there for people to consume, it's very valuable because they can watch that on their own time, and you created the video one time and posted it, and now they can see it forever, right? It's always going to be there. And it's a great way for people to get to know you and get to like you and trust you even more just through your content. So that's a pretty big summary of what to post and why. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message. I'm happy to help, but try to implement all of these as much as you can.